everybody. Welcome to Radio Calling, the second live Instagram story from Instagram. Today, we are going to be talking about the sports aspect of my podcast. Now, last time I did this, we did the music aspect of my podcast, did it live on Instagram Live. Now we're going to do the sports aspect of my podcast. So today I want to talk about the NBA free agency that's going on and what is going on kind of in the NBA, and then also the All-Star teams for the AL and NL teams for the baseball got released today as well. So diving into the NBA free agency, I guess big news is that Paul George is been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, teaming up with Russell Westbrook. The Thunder traded for Paul George, and the Pacers got a washer and a bottle of water in return for Paul George. That's not really true, but you can go back and look at what the details were on that trade. And I think it was a robbery trade, very similar to the one the Chicago Bulls made, but this one is a lot worse. So we'll see how that goes. I know I talked to my friend who is a very big Pacers fan. He is very, very upset, and he is contemplating leaving the Pacers altogether, joining a new team and rooting for them. I suggested to him the Bucks. He's looking at Bucks, possibly the Lakers, possibly the T-Wolves, since they're basically the new Chicago Bulls, or the Chicago Bulls of 2007 to 2013, with Tibbs and Taj Gibson now signed with them, and of course Jimmy Butler as well. But we'll see how that goes. They've also been talking to Derrick Rose, so maybe a possible joining of, or a reunion of the Chicago Bulls of old in Minnesota. So that whole trade, I talked to my friend who's a big Pacers fan, as I mentioned. He did not like the trade at all. Hi, Jose. He didn't like the trade at all. He didn't like what the Pacers got out of it, and he thought it was a robbery, and I agreed with him. And this is something that I brought up several months before, when he brought this to my attention, that Paul George could possibly be traded, and he was going to be a free agent, not this coming year, but next year. So I thought the only logical place for him to go would be to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I mentioned this in the first episode, actually the first and third episode of my podcast. You can go back and look at that on YouTube. The link is in the bio. If you click on that, you will go to the YouTube page where all my archived episodes are. But anyways, I said, this would be a good fit for him. This would be he would team up with Russell Westbrook, and he wouldn't have to be the main guy. He could sit back if he's not feeling well, or if he's having an off day, and he kind of can play along with Russell Westbrook. But Russell Westbrook had Kevin Durant, and you don't. They didn't really gel, and you can see how that ended up, and Kevin Durant's now in Golden State, and he just won his first title with Golden State. So it's going to be a very interesting year. A lot of the All-Stars of the East are now going over to the West. Paul Millsap just signed like a $90 million 5-year deal with the Denver Nuggets. So there's another All-Star that went to the West. Paul George, of course, went to the West. A lot of people are going to the West. The West is basically stacked with All-Stars, and it'll be very interesting once the All-Star break starts, and once the All-Star game actually starts, who actually gets selected to those All-Star teams, because the East doesn't have the quality of stars, because they're all going to the West. The only people I can think of are the Greek Freak, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and that's about it. Those are the main ones that I can think of, at least. And then we'll see where Carmelo Anthony ends up. I'm hearing talks that he might go to Cleveland. He might stay in New York. The sky's the limit with him. then again, the New York organization is just terrible. I mean, something needs to happen there. The general manager was seen looking at Carmelo Anthony's uh, videos that he posted to Instagram of him working out, and he was laughing at these videos, and I thought that was very disrespectful for someone that is in your organization and trying to get better to just laugh at them and downgrade them for putting forth the effort. I mean, he's putting forth the effort to be better and to make himself better and to make that organization better, and for someone to just laugh at them is just totally uncalled for and totally disrespectful. And then again, I don't know the whole story. Maybe he was laughing at something else, maybe he was just really happy, but um when I saw that, I just instantly thought that that was very disrespectful, excuse me. So there's that. CP3 signed with I think he no. Let me rephrase that. CP3 got traded to the Houston Rockets. There's another poll where I'm hearing Carmelo Anthony might go as well. But now CP3, James Harden are all there. They still got Nene. And then they're getting kind of role players as well. So we'll see how they do. They're bulking up to go against the Thunder and the Warriors as well. So very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to watch them as well. Derrick Rose has met with the T Wolves, as I discussed, and he's also met with the Milwaukee Bucks. So he's trying to get some pull there. We'll see where that goes. But the switching gears, the NL and AL All Star rosters were released over the weekend, and a lot of people around here. I live in Wisconsin. A lot of people around here are going nuts because A, the Brewers are in first place, and B, they had one All Star selected to the All Star game. Big friggin' whoop! I mean, come on, people. Let's calm down, pump the brakes again. I said this before, but a lot of people around here get on this Brewer bandwagon once they get good, and then just completely go nuts because they're in first place and they're ahead of the Cubs, the World Series Cubs. I'm gonna say it again. I said it before, but I'm gonna say it right now. It's not even the All Star break yet. Pump the goddamn brakes. We're not even halfway through. Once we're halfway through, I mean, Brewers usually tank. Brewers usually just take a big goose egg and just fold in the second half of the year. So I'm gonna say it right now. Brewers probably not gonna be in playoffs by the end of the year. Put that on paper right now. So yeah, it's just it angers me. It angers me a little bit. But we'll see where that goes. Now, a lot of the switching back to the NBA, a lot of the NBA contracts that are being sold or being dealt and being finalized right now, a lot of people are getting paid a lot of money for a couple of years. I mentioned Paul Millsap got 90 million. Lavar Lorenzo Ball, Lorenzo Ball, he got paid $33.1 million for a 3-year deal. JJ Redick signed with the Sixers for a 1-year deal and got like $45 million. Steph Curry, good lord, $205 million for I think it's 5 years. So congratulations to Steph Curry. He is the highest paid NBA player in the NBA league. So congratulations to him. Well deserved. And to think that it was only a few years ago that he had no Division 1 scholarship offers, and now look at him. He's a 2-time MVP. Actually, no. Yes, 2-time MVP. Think about that a little bit. 2-time MVP, 2-time MVP. Excuse me, 2-time NBA champion. So sky's the limit for him, and he's still fairly young in his career. So we'll see where that leads him. Now, With the 4th of July coming up, there's a lot of a salute to not only America but the military games that are going on around the MLB, and then the minor league teams and stuff like that. And I think that's a wonderful salute and a wonderful way to just give back to those who serve our country, and for those who um, have sacrificed their lives to save this country. And it's a great promotional thing too. And I work for a baseball team in the summer, and it's very interesting to watch what goes into promotions, and what in my league is doing for promotions as well. A lot of people in our league do it, basically the Star Wars night. That's the big one. Princess Night, Superhero Night. But also, people are doing one team is bringing in Jerry the King Lawler, former WWE champion, and WCW. Think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not up with my um, wrestling lingo as of late, but he's coming to a game. It's very interesting to watch what goes into promotions, and what kind of preparations you have to take for this promotions. And uh, the Timber Rattlers, who are an affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, do a lot of promotions. They have basically a promotion almost every night or every week. They're doing Christmas in July. They're doing Superhero Night. They're doing. Um, they had a salute to. They didn't have salute. They had like an ice cream. I think it was like an ice cream night or something, and they gave out actual full batting helmets to the first 1,000 fans or 500 fans or something like that. So there's a lot of promotions that go into baseball games, and it doesn't transfer over to uh, different sports. You don't see this a lot with other sports. You see this a lot with you know uh, baseball, and you don't see this in basketball. You kind of see it in basketball, but you don't really see it as transfer over as well as it does with baseball when they do um, different promotional ideas. And it's a great tool for people to come to their ballpark, not only for Star Wars, or for Salute the Troops night, or things of that nature, but it's a great way for new fans to come, see your ballpark, see the kind of atmosphere that you have, and it's a great tool for people to kind of get into to baseball. And it's a great tool for kids. It's a great tool for kids to get in and talk about item, talk about how you get introduced to baseball is through these promotions. I mean, if you like Spider-Man, or if you like Captain America, Iron Man, if you're a fan of those when you're a kid and you're really little, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there, and um, someone says, "Oh, hey, this person's going to be at the baseball game. We should go." And then you go and you actually meet them. You get that connection. Baseball superheroes. That's kind of cool. So that's kind of how kids, I would assume, get into baseball, and get into what they like, and what they feel they kind of like when you go to these baseball games. And baseball's a great atmosphere. It's a slower game, of course, and it's just there's no better feeling or expression, or no better atmosphere than a baseball game, especially on a warm day when it's not too hot, not too cold. There's no bugs out. It's just great weather, and you're watching a great baseball game going on, and and of course it's America's pastime. So there's that. Um, Now, there's been a lot of talk about you know baseball not being as fast as it should be, and actually putting in a clock for baseball. And I think that takes away from the whole aspect of baseball, and the whole just game of baseball. People are complaining that baseball is too long, with some games running three. You see a lot of things happen like that, where high school potentially around here in Wisconsin might get a shot clock, which would upset me personally, and it's upset a lot of coaches around the area that I've talked to as well. So I really don't know why you would put in a clock for baseball. I just think that takes away from the whole kind of aspect of the baseball game going on. So we'll see what happens there. Now, just looking at my Twitter feed, I forgot to mention this, but Chauncey Billups withdrew his name from running for being the president of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think that's a good choice. I don't know what the Cavaliers are doing in their organization. Kind of ever since I think it was their GM left very suddenly. The whole organization's kind of been up in the air, and they're kind of going the New York Knicks route. They're not as garbage as the New York Knicks are right now, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see if they actually keep LeBron James or if he actually goes to LA or somewhere else like that. I'm hearing rumors about that because he is a free agent next year as well. So maybe the potential of Paul George and LeBron James teaming up in LA, that would just be crazy with Lorenzo Ball there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We got a long way from there, and a long way till that next free agency. So that'll do it for this episode of Radio Calling. Thank you for joining me on Instagram Live for another episode of Radio Calling. Again, my name is Sam. I am your host. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, of course, at LondonCalling22. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well at LondonCalling22. And be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube if you would like to hear any of the archived podcast episodes and also new podcast episodes as well. So, again, this has been Radio Calling live from Instagram Live, and we'll see you next time.